Welcome back to the podcast you don't know but should know. I'm Justin Duncan, followed by here with Mr. Casey Merritt, Ian Blackwell. Welcome to Mixed Reactions. How you doing, fellas?
No complaints, really. I think I'm feeling better than MVS's hands at the moment.
Oof. Butterfingers for sure. For sure. How about you, sir, Ian?
No, I think Casey kind of put the nail on the head. I became very upset when he dropped that pass, but we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're absolutely going to dive into that. What do you boys want to start with?
What would you say? I would say in terms of let's just kind of keep this short and sweet, as opposed, if you want to. Biggest takeaway from week 11, if you have a big takeaway.
Oh, I have one.
Let's hear it. Let's go for it.
My biggest takeaway from week 11 of the 2023 NFL season: the Kansas City receivers are going to cost Patrick Mahomes a Super Bowl.
Hard to argue that. I mean, Travis Kelce with an uncharacteristic fumble.
Not to mention the drop late in the fourth quarter as well.
The drops. My God, the drops.
Not just the drops. I'm talking about Kelce specifically. His drop late in the fourth quarter. I mean, Travis Kelce is an all-time great, one of the greatest tight ends of all time. You can argue the greatest if you just want to go the first ballot, and inarguably the greatest pass-catching tight end of all time. You could argue greatest tight end, but I'm talking about just pass-catching wise, inarguably the greatest ever in that aspect. For him to drop a simple drag route that hit him directly in the hands last night, then also that crucial fumble in the red zone, completely uncharacteristic of Travis Kelce. But my goodness, the Chiefs receivers are awful. And I hate to play, technically Tuesday night quarterback here, because none of us could even remotely sniff the NFL, and none of us are even remotely athletic as any one of those players. Regardless, as an NFL standard receiver, those players are terrible. They are going to cost the Chiefs a Super Bowl. They're wasting a year of Mahomes' prime. You know damn well they're going to obviously get a deep run in the playoffs. They're not going to go out in the first round. They're more than likely still going to have the 1 seed. But somewhere along the way during that playoff run, they're going to drop a crucial pass. I mean, there is nobody outside of Kelce that Mahomes can trust. Even last year, they at least had Juju Smith-Schuster, who obviously hasn't panned out in New England this year, but was Patrick's most trusted receiver last year and made crucial catches along the way. Justin and Ian, we talk all the time, every week on this show, about how bad New England's receiving core is. Kansas City's is worse if you take out Travis Kelce. It's terrible.
And Casey, you and I were saying it before when the season began. Outside of Kelce, Patrick Mahomes has no one to throw to.
Absolutely nobody. I think Kansas City.
Rice was kind of cool. He's kind of like the feel-good feel with the rookie and all, but
Rice is the only passable receiver they have.
Yeah.
The only passable receiver. I would be almost, even if the Chiefs had somebody who's a mid-tier receiver, like a good to mid-tier receiver, say if they had Amari Cooper, who's a very solid receiver, I think the Chiefs would be Super Bowl favorites by a mile. Yeah. Their defense is stellar. Mahomes is still far and away.
Sure, jeez.
Mahomes is still far and away the best quarterback in pro football. It's not close. It's really not. Did you guys see, if you watch the game, you know exactly what throw I'm about to say. That throw he made to Justin Watson on the sideline, only, and I mean only Mahomes can make that throw.
No, I don't even, Manning, Brady, Breeze, no, none of them.
The only one that I would put in the conversation is prime Aaron Rodgers, because he was spectacular with the ball.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That's the only one. Other than that, every other quarterback sails that out of bounds and is about 2 yards too far. Mahomes put it on the money. He's the only one could make that throw. And they're wasting a year of Mahomes. You know what this almost feels like to me, Justin? It's Brady wasn't in his prime at this anymore at this point, but it almost feels like 2019 New England. Where just there's nobody.
You're relying on Philip Dorsett and folks like that who, when they were in their prime, were passable twos, maybe upside 3, but nothing flashy.
The Chiefs are all 3s outside of Travis Kelce.
Outside of Kelce, they're all 3s.
It's I almost feel as far as on a football level, I feel bad for Mahomes. It's a travesty what he has to work with right now. They've got to, and I mean got to go get a receiver in the offseason. It doesn't have to be a Devontae Adams. It doesn't have to be a Tyreek Hill.
No.
It doesn't have to be one of them guys. Go out and get DeAndre Hopkins. Go get Mike Evans. Christ, go trade Brandon Cooks from Dallas to Kansas City. And that would make all the difference in the world for them. I hate to say it, because they're still absolutely a top-notch team in the NFL and absolutely a top-notch team in the AFC. I can't see them winning a Super Bowl with this receiving core, especially if Kelce remains hobbled. If you guys know anything about football, and you guys do very well, so I'm talking to the audience here, you're watching Travis Kelce right now. It's clear he's dealing with an injury that's not being disclosed. Something is going on with him. He does not look as explosive. His cuts aren't as sharp. I think it's probably his calf or his ankle. Maybe I'm crazy when I'm saying that, but do you guys see the same thing with Kelce? It looks like he's hobbled.
Is he hobbled or is he distracted?
Looks like he tore his Swiftinitis.
He tore his Swiftinitis. No, I really think it's an injury. Look at the games he put on before when she was there. He wasn't distracted by her at all. He played phenomenally. I think he's hurt. I think there's something going on with Kelce. And then when you have a hobbled Travis Kelce plus the worst receiving core in the league, there's definitely something going on in Kansas City. And, Ian, a couple weeks ago, you said, am I the only one that sees Kansas City falling flat on their face? And I said you were crazy. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it's looking more likely it's a possibility with this type of receiving core. Now, obviously, Kansas City has the Raiders this week. They're going to bounce back. They're probably going to blow out the Raiders by, a couple scores. But I don't think it's going to be like 50-20 a blow. I'm thinking more like 24-10 because Kansas City's defense is legit. It's a very, very solid defense.
Very much improved defense. Because if you ask me about Kansas City's defense 2 years ago, I'd have said it's still Swiss cheese.
Absolutely agree. But they had the receiving core to overcome it, and they had arguably the most talented quarterback ever to overcome it. But when you pair said most talented quarterback ever with a group of, I hate using this word in the NFL, but a bunch of scrubs, it really goes to show nobody can do it on their own. It's not possible. You cannot win a championship on your own.
Yeah. I mean, Patrick Mahomes can make up for a lot of shortcomings like a la Brady and Manning in their heyday, but he can't do it alone.
No, nobody can. You can't name a single player in the history of any sport that could have won a championship on their own.
LeBron James.
He had Kyrie. He had Dwayne Wade. He had Anthony Davis.
Who did he have in Cleveland?
Well, his only championship in Cleveland, he had Kyrie and Kevin Love.
Did he have Kyrie? I thought Kyrie was already gone by then.
No. No. Because back in Game 5, Kyrie and LeBron both scored 41.
Okay, I take it back. I thought there was one year he kind of did it on his own.
No.
Okay.
I mean, LeBron carried teams to the finals basically by himself, but never won it.
Fair enough. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes could probably very well still drag the Chiefs to play to the Super Bowl, and that's where the receivers could screw up the game for him.
With how wide open the AFC is this year,
anyone
can make it at this point.
Right now, you'd have to almost say the favorite's Baltimore.
Baltimore or Miami?
I don't even trust Miami.
No, I don't trust Miami either. I don't trust Miami.
Miami can't beat a good team. Joe Burrow just went out for the year. The Bills look like a shell of themselves. The Chiefs don't have a receiver. I don't trust Lamar in the playoffs. The AFC is wide open. Absolutely wide
You
open.
watch Pittsburgh makes a run, just have to for God's
Firing
sake.
Matt Canada. It's a possibility, but I think Kenny Pickett is Mac Jones-esque. I think he's that bad. He's Mac Jones with a athleticism. That's what he is.
How far the AFC has fallen?
It's not even that the NFC is much better.
It's not. You know, there was something I was reading today. Let me just quote this because I just saw it just a little bit ago. Brady actually gave an interview about the NFL product, as it were. Let's see if I can pull this quote up here because he was.
I saw exactly what you're talking about. Are you saying where he was saying how the NFL product seems almost mediocre compared to what it used to be?
Exactly. He says,
He's not wrong.
I think there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL. I don't see the excellence that I saw in the past.
He's not wrong.
The coaching isn't as good as it was. The development of young players isn't as good as it was. And the schemes aren't as good as they were.
Think about when we were all growing up, Ian and Justin, watching football. Think about how many, and I'm not just saying good, I'm saying great quarterbacks we had. We had Brady, we had Manning, we had Breeze, we had Roethlisberger, we had Rodgers in his prime, we had Brett Favre, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning. Actually, no, Eli wasn't great, so I'm going to cut out Eli there. I'm actually going to cut out Phillip Rivers too because I wouldn't list Phillip Rivers as great. Very good, but not great.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, how many quarterbacks in this league right now are you willing to go out on a limb and say they're great?
Mahomes.
That's
and then, yeah, I mean, Lamar on a good day.
On a good day.
Okay, but if you have to say on a good day, they're not great.
That's fair.
Any quarterback is great on a good day. Dak's great on a good day.
But at least the difference is Patrick Mahomes on a bad day can at least look semi-decent. There's the difference.
The talent level, let's put it like the Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, those are all really good quarterbacks. Really good. I truly, truly believe that. But top-notch quarterbacks? Are they Peyton Manning? Are they Drew Brees? Are they Ben Roethlisberger? I don't think they are. I think Tom has a point.
Yeah, it's sad.
But is it as sad as our picks from last week? Let's find out.
No, it can't be. They can't be.
Well, the good news is we all had a winning record.
What?
I'm not bullshitting you. Me and Casey both went 8-3. Justin went 6-5. The ones that screwed Justin he was the only one that had Minnesota.
Yeah.
And he was the only one that had. Oh wait. Oh, did I count it wrong? No. And he was the only one that had. There was another one here too. He was. Come on, give me a second. Come on, feet don't fail me now. Did I?
Seahawks. We all lost the Seahawks one.
I had the Rams.
Oh.
I totally forgot. Wait, you were the only ones that had the Vikings. There was another fucking one. Oh well, you were the only ones that had the Vikings, and then you and me both had the Steelers. Yeah, and then Casey had the Browns, and then so yeah, that's what separated you. But yeah, no, we all did decent. We all won the Ravens game. Casey's the only one that won the Browns game. We all won the Dolphins game. We all won the Lions game. We all won the Jags game. We all whiffed on the Chargers. We all won on the Texans. We all won on Dallas. I was the only one that won on the Rams. And you were the only one that had Minnesota. And then we all lost on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, what do you boys say we hop into week 12?
Let's go for it.
Now, as you know, there is a plethora of games this Thursday. It's your tradition like no other. We have some turkey. We have some beer, and boy, oh boy, do we have some football. And as always, fellas, it starts off with an NFC North matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions need to pick me up. At least a better game this week than they did last week. Because Jared Goff had a rough start. And I
He
mean
did,
rough start.
but you got to give a lot of credit to Detroit for not giving up on their game plan, keep punching, and coming away with the W. I know it's against a lonely Chicago team, but they stayed poised and they got the job done. I think that was a phenomenal win that showed some true gut and character.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're down by like 2
I agree,
possessions
Detroit.
in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Detroit in a blowout.
Honestly, I already penciled. We're gonna get everybody's official picks anyways, but I already penciled all of us in for the Lions and Cowboys. Am I wrong or am I right?
Well, before let me announce the game, okay? Let the guy do his job here.
We're all on board with the Lions.
We're all on board with the Lions. Now the next game, another team that always plays on Thanksgiving. It's an NFC East showdown, fellas. We have the Washington Commanders heading into Jerry World to face Dak and the Cowboys, and I'm gonna roll with the Cowboys.
The boys, by a romp, like 25 plus.
Yeah, I think Dallas rolls tomorrow or Thursday.
Interesting that it's all divisional games this week.
Is it really?
It's all not this week. I'm sorry. It's all divisional games Thursday because Thursday night we got the San Francisco 49ers heading in to play Seattle in the 12th man. I'm gonna roll the Niners, but in a closer game than people think.
Is Geno Smith playing? He got hurt.
I'm about to look that up because I was thinking that because the Niners are -6.5 in Seattle, so he must be hurt or something.
He was hurt. He came out of the game last week. That's why they lost to the Rams.
I didn't know if he was.
It wasn't a bad game. He was out after the second quarter.
Well, that's not to mention that Seattle had a chance to win with a 57-yard field goal at the end and missed.
This is true.
I cannot find the injury report. What the fuck? All right.
It doesn't matter if Geno's playing or not. I don't think I'm going with the Niners.
I'm taking the Niners.
Yeah, I probably would have still taken the Niners anyway. Give me the Niners.
Yeah, Niners regardless in that one. And then we have a Friday game that starts at 3:00. Tim Boyle is getting his first start for the New York Jets as they take on the Miami Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Did you see that Zach Wilson got benched to the QB3 behind Trevor Siemian too?
Yep.
And wasn't Trevor Siemian like flipping burgers last season?
He sure was.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins by a lot. I mean, now here's one thing I would say: the Jets' defense is elite when playing well, but that offense should not be sniffing an NFL field right now.
No. And that's a shame because Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson are phenomenal.
Absolutely. Yeah. But that offensive line and that quarterback room outside of Aaron Rodgers, because Rodgers is just simply smoking the ayahuasca tea or whatever on the sidelines with everyone else. Yeah, that quarterback room is garbage at best.
Yeah, at best. So I'm assuming we're all on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Now, and I mean by a mile, for the absolute weakest slate of 1 p.m. games on the East Coast, here we go, fellas. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading into Indianapolis to take on the Colts. And I don't think it matters who I pick in this game because whoever I pick is the opposite's going to happen because the Bucs are involved and they find a way to fuck me every week.
I've enjoyed seeing that trend this year with our show. You're never right about them. And didn't they win like 2 weeks ago when you had picked against them finally? And they finally came?
I mean, sure, this last Sunday we all picked the Niners and they ended up winning, but I think it might have been damn near impossible for them to fuck me that week. So, with that being said, I'm going to roll the Colts.
I got Indy too, and I think it's going to be close. Just kind of like a garbage. Like I think Indy gets ahead and Tampa makes it close in garbage time, but Indy wins.
It's in Lucas Oil. I don't know, man. Indy looks like they have a little bit more to play for than the fucking. Indy is
They
5-5.
do. I mean,
Tampa's 4-6.
No,
the
Tampa has
AFC's
much
so
more to
wide
play
open.
for.
Indy does have something to play
No,
for.
hold on. Let's time out here. Tampa has much more to play for because they're in the NFC South, and that division is still wide open.
It's
The
true.
Colts ain't catching the Jags nor the Texans.
No, that's
fair. Give me the Bucks.
Fair. I'm still taking the Colts though.
I am too. Still definitely taking the Colts here, and you're gonna notice a trend here. The next game that we have going on for the 1 o'clock slate, we have a bottom of the barrel matchup. We have a Super Bowl 42 and 45 rematch, I believe, or 46 rather, between the New England Patriots and the New York Giants. I want Justin to go first on this one because I want to see what he really thinks of the Patriots at this point in the season.
The Bills aren't even announcing who's playing quarterback until Sunday.
Oh, that's a great start to the week.
The Giants just shockingly won too. Don't ask me how that happened. Is it in Gillette?
No,
it's in New York.
It's
in New Jersey.
Jersey or whatever, yeah.
Whatever. Give me the Patriots, though I don't like the pick.
He said that begrudgingly.
I did.
He did.
All right.
Okay, so I am gonna roll with
They both suck.
They do, and by rule of thumb, when two teams suck, you take the home team. So I'm gonna go with the Giants.
I don't know, man. This is too hard to call. Give me Danny Dimes and the Giants.
Danny Dimes isn't playing.
You fucking serious?
It's
Tim DeVito.
Oh,
it's Danny DeVito's little
I haven't watched the Giants at all in like 3 weeks. Give me the Giants still.
It's still my cousin Vinny playing quarterback.
Absolutely.
It's been like that for a few weeks. I totally forgot the
2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
Okay, my bad.
How we have, hopefully, possibly, for all you Steelers fans out there, a rejuvenated Steelers offense heading into Cincinnati to place a Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati team. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm taking Pittsburgh. I think the OC changeover is going to galvanize them, much like it galvanized the Bills this last weekend. I think Tomlin does exactly what he needs to do to get his team ready, despite the changes. Give me the Steelers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got the Steelers as well. Wait, Casey, did you have the Steelers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
Yeah, I think the Bengals just look real bad right now, especially no Joe Burrow. I think they're just, they're going to still be fighting, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I have the Steelers as well.
The next game that we got going on is we have Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers heading on to Tennessee, Music City, to face Will Levis and the Titans. This one could go either way. Despite the score, Carolina looked decent against Dallas. I know, obviously, it ended up being 33-10. But that being said, I'm going to go with the Titans. But I'm going to do it almost a little begrudgingly because I don't know. I'm going to go with the Titans.
Vrabel trying to coach his way out of Tennessee.
That's a possibility. And before you two pick on this one, we can just answer this with a yes or no and move on. Is Derrick Henry washed?
Yes.
I agree.
Like, it been in the washing machine for about 2 cycles now, washed.
Yeah.
The league's caught up to Derrick Henry.
I don't think the league's caught on to Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry's body has caught on to Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Looks like he's lost a step.
So, Casey, you got Titans. Who do you got, Justin?
I'm going to take the Titans. And again, I don't like the pick, but I'll take it.
I got Panthers. Second half of the season, maybe they show a little bit of promise. I think there's
Okay.
a lot less dysfunction. And we knew Carolina was going to suck. I think there's a lot less dysfunction there than there is in Tennessee. And they're going in, and I think sometimes playing as the home team when your fans are already frustrated is pressure in and of itself. And I still like Bryce Young, not as much as Stroud, but I'm going Panthers.
That's fair. Now, speaking of CJ Stroud, Ian,
I was just saw
good
that.
segue. Good segue. This is the only passable game at 1 o'clock. We have Jacksonville heading into Houston for an AFC South showdown. That would indicate first place in the division, I believe.
Wow.
Now,
is it really that close now?
Yeah,
I believe it's one game out. So, as much credit as I've given CJ Stroud for as wrong as I've been about him since the beginning of the season, I'm rolling with the Jags on this one. I still think Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in that game.
This is a tough one for me.
It's
Go ahead,
tough,
Justin.
yeah.
I'm still looking at it right now because it's like I feel like it's one of those spots where a lot of people are like, "Hey, watch out for Houston today," and then they just get absolutely flatlined because this is by far the biggest game they've played in years.
Absolutely is.
First place.
Oh wow, I almost think we need to revisit our indie pick, guys.
Why do you say that?
Shaquille Leonard just got waived.
Oh yeah, that's nothing. I knew that.
Okay, I don't know.
To me.
You can go back on it if you want to.
No. The more I think about it, no. I'm gonna stick with it. I'll stick with it, but I reserve the right to say, oh well, there's your answer why.
Yeah, I get that, but if you really think about it, what has Shaquille Leonard really done this year?
This year, not much. That's fair. I mean, this one's hard. I mean, Jacksonville is really disappointed the last couple weeks.
Like I said, I'm gonna roll with the Jags, but this is the type of game where I wouldn't be shocked either way.
It's in Houston. I'm gonna take the Jags too. Yeah, I mean Noah Brown's down. He had a great game a couple weeks back, and then just kind of hasn't looked the same since. Give me the Jags.
What says you, Mr. Blackwell?
Yeah, I'm going Jags as well.
Jags. Okay.
I really do like Houston. They're one of my. I watched them a little bit in the preseason. And it seems that they're bringing some toughness in there, especially with DeMeco Ryans. But I think this is gonna be. I think they might still make a wild card.
DeMeco Ryans, I think is gonna run. He has too much more than he can chew once he gets to the playoffs.
Yes,
that's
no
fair,
question. Yeah. Now, we have an NFC South showdown next, fellas, and again, I think this is a battle for first place in the division. Sadly, we got the New Orleans Saints heading into not so hot Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Desmond
Atlanta's
Ritter back starting.
1-point favorite. I'm going to take the Saints in that one.
I'm rolling with the Saints as well.
You said Desmond Ritter is back this week?
Desmond Ritter is back.
I mean, who is Desmond Ritter, though, at the end of the day? I said that. Like, it's a huge...
But Arthur Smith still can't use Bijan Robinson properly. And he's their best player.
That's fair.
But how do they have two of the most electrifying players at their position, Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts, and don't know how to use either one of them?
Kyle Pitts can't do nothing.
It's not. I don't even think it's him, though. Anytime he gets the ball, he does something. They just don't give him the ball.
Yeah,
I'm rolling with the Saints.
I got the Saints.
It's hard for me. I think I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Saints 30th in the 30 in the league rushing yards per carry. And I think that they're gonna struggle a little bit. I mean, I don't know, man. A lot of these picks are just they could go either way. But
a lot of them can. Very true.
If it's in Atlanta, and the Falcons actually have a shot to win that shitty ass division, then yeah, give me the Falcons.
All right, so he's rolling with the Falcons. The next game, fellas, we have the Cleveland Browns, who are still looking tough, even after that going down to Deshaun Watson, managed to win against Pittsburgh. And they are heading into Denver to play the surprisingly hot Denver Broncos.
Give me Denver.
I'm going to go Denver as well.
I don't know, man. Denver is looking at Russell Wilson on Sunday was looking. Some of the plays he was making looked absolutely ridiculous. I mean, let's check out the wild. I mean, they're still a little bit behind in the wild card, and I don't know if I ever came out and said it on the show. I did say it in our group. I don't know how much I believed it at the time that Denver was going to make the playoffs, and now I'm starting to look like a prophet. But Cleveland is still 7-3. They still have real hope of trying to win the AFC North and get a home playoff game first. Fuck, man. So Denver is -2.5 at home, which is essentially means like the Browns are like a half-point favorite because the home team always gets 3. At least that's what I've always been told. Never seen anything to verify that. I don't know, man. And Russ, I trust. Give me the Broncos.
He's rolling with the Broncos. Okay. Next, we have another NFC West showdown.
Fuck up on. Yeah, go ahead.
We have an NFC West showdown. LA Rams heading into Arizona to take on the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Cardinals have looked decent the past couple weeks. You know, they beat the Falcons and they gave the Texans a good little run for their money. They are playing at home. I'm going to roll with the Rams, though.
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, Kyler Murray's playing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyler's playing, absolutely.
All right.
Playing pretty good, too.
He is.
Cooper Kupp got hurt, I saw. But he's still trying to come back from everything. I'll take the Rams, but also think it's going to be close.
I think so. I think it's going to be a close game. I just think Rams edge out a close one.
Yeah.
We all on the Rams?
Yep. I'm on the Cardinals.
Ooh. Ian's on the Cardinals. Okay.
I don't know, man. Kyler Murray is going to be one of those guys that it's just if we're taking quarterback versus quarterback in this game, he's looked. You know, he did throw a pick each of the last 2 weeks, but he still looked good. I got the Cardinals. I think he's going to make some plays happen. Not that we don't have the guys to defend it, but I think he'll play. I think he'll play pretty good. I think the Cardinals win. I think it'll be a close one, but I think they win by 6 or 7.
Very unbiased pick, Ian. I commend you greatly for that, my friend. So the next game, we have a bit of a showdown, folks. We have Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills heading into Lincoln Financial to face the Eagles. I want you two to go first on this one.
The Eagles are hot garbage. They really are.
Find ways to win. Now I'm scared of betting against the Eagles. At this point, they always somehow win the game. Like,
that's my thought too, Ian. I'm not saying I'm going to pick the Eagles. I don't know yet. I'm still debating, but because you can't trust Buffalo right now either.
No, you can't.
They're a game behind Miami in the division, so they have to win this one. And because Miami plays, the Jets on
Eagles,
Friday.
Yeah. You could argue the same thing for the Eagles because after this, they got the 49ers and they're at Dallas.
And Dallas is, don't you guys have another gimme this week? Oh,
well, Philly's got a horrendously hard schedule to hold that number 1 seed right now. Until they have, at the last 3 weeks of the season. I'm going to take Buffalo. I think the bounce back game against New York is going to help them. I think that Philly is just going to kind of not really implode, but implode too much in the game to keep that Buffalo just stays with them too long, and Josh Allen does something Josh Allen-esque.
I got Bills too.
Give me the Bills as well. Well, as you boys have been pondering, going over on this one, I've been pondering it as well. And I think there's no one better to bring in at this point than the legend himself, Chris Berman, and I'm going to let him make my pick for me.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Well, there you have it.
His old famous saying, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to the Bills. I think they can pull this game out. I know they're 9-1, but I don't think they're that good. I think Philadelphia could get the 1 seed and then get bounced in the first round of the division. Not the first round, but get bounced in their first playoff game in the divisional round. I can absolutely see that for Philly this year. I don't see it this year for them. Yeah, absolutely give me the Bills in this game. Then the next game, as I always love to say, we got the Kansas City Chiefs heading into Las Vegas to take on Ian's Raiders.
Not a Raiders fan. I just have to point that out in case somebody's first time listening to that show. I know why you say it. Go ahead.
I'm rolling with Kansas City in this one.
These last 3 games are fucking trash, bro.
Trash.
I mean, the Raiders still 5-6. They got a fighting chance, but am I really gonna go against the Chiefs and just they got literally
Patrick Mahomes
win out.
Off a loss. Patrick Mahomes has never lost back-to-back games.
You realize this is the last time this is the first time Andy Reid's lost off of bye?
Mm-hmm.
Like even since his Philly days?
Yeah.
Wow. I got Chiefs by fucking 95 points.
And then Sunday night game, Ravens, Chargers. I don't even think we have to waste our breath. I'm assuming we're all on the Ravens because the Chargers are hot garbage.
Does Brandon Staley still have a job by the end of the week?
He unfortunately will, because I don't know why the front office won't let him go.
Yeah.
Ravens. Definitely Ravens.
Ravens for sure.
Yeah, no question. I mean, Ian, any differential? Or are we all on Ravens?
Man, I've trusted the Chargers for so long. These motherfuckers are trash. They just lost to the fucking Packers. Like, I don't really.
Yeah, how do you lose to the Packers?
It was in Green Bay, granted, but they're one of those teams. I don't know, man. Baltimore is one of those teams I feel like, and they just can let you down on any given week too. But they're not as bad as the Chargers in that.
But the Chargers can't do anything on offense, even if you paid them to. Oh wait, they are paid to, and they still can't.
I have the Ravens, but I don't think they're gonna cover the 3.5. I think they win by like 1. I think the Chargers will be really close.
I can absolutely see it being a close game. That's what the Chargers do. They'll keep it close and find a way to fuck it up. That's why I'm picking the Ravens. You could ask me who's going to win, the Chargers or UMaine women's football, and I'd probably pick UMaine's women's football.
What do we got for the Monday night game?
Yeah, the Monday night game, another trash game. We have the Chicago Bears heading in to Minneapolis to play the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm going to roll with the Vikings.
Wow, welcome to the Viking. Welcome to the ship, fellas.
Yeah, I haven't picked the Vikings in a while.
Hammer. Skull. Vikings. Yes.
What's the spread? It's only minus 3.5 for the Vikings at home. Who's playing quarterback? It's not. It's Dobbs still. Yeah,
it's going to be Dobbs. Yeah, I mean,
why are they only 3.5 point?
Because he hasn't sold Vegas yet.
That would be why.
I mean, the Bears have nothing to play for. The Vikings are going to be playing. I mean, Dallas is going to have a wild card spot, so that's locked. Or whoever is second in the NFC East, and then it's going to be them and Seattle fighting for a wild card spot. Something about that spread. See, this is why you don't watch the spread, because it makes you think too much about it. The Bears almost won in Detroit. Justin Fields is back as well. Yeah. Give me the Bears.
Oh my God. Okay, Ian's going with the Bears. And there you have it for our pick segment. Another one in the books for mixed reactions. I think we had a good pick segment there, boys. We had a few different. Me and Justin were very similar on almost all of them, I feel. So we're going to have a very similar record. Ian went out on the limb a few of them. And especially where it's this late in the season, anything is possible. So that kind of concludes the NFL topics for the day, boys. We touched on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs not having any weapons. We briefly touched on Derrick Henry being washed. Hopefully he can prove us wrong. Anything you boys want to add about your teams real quick before we turn segments? Justin, do you want to say anything about New England? Ian, anything about the Rams?
The Patriots. I mean, I'll be surprised. I think we could expect to have Bailey Zapp. I think it's gonna be a Bailey Zappi Mac Jones show, with Zappi starting.
Justin, I will say, I think this is the last winnable game you guys have this year.
Oh, well, yeah, because hang on a second. When did the Jets come back to Foxborough? That's like the only other one I can see them possibly winning.
Oh, actually, I lied. Next Sunday, you got the Chargers. They'll find a way to fuck that up. So
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers is reportedly 2 weeks away from practicing.
Oh, wow.
Supposedly.
That's scary. If the Jets can remain above water and Rodgers comes back, that team could be scary. Because like we said, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, they have some weapons on offense. They just have the quarterback ability of me and Ian and you.
Week 18, dear sweet mother of COD.
Yeah. Especially, imagine if Rodgers is back and they need to win that game to get into the playoffs. They're going to beat New England by 40.
They should.
Well, the Jets' remaining schedule, they have Miami, Atlanta, Houston, at Miami, at home against the Commanders, at Cleveland, and then at the Patriots. So I don't think the Jets are going to the playoffs, but it's going to be fun to watch Aaron Rodgers next year.
With Tim Boyle and Zach Wilson, those are all losses.
Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian, or Zach Wilson, all losses.
Yeah, they should have gotten Josh Dobbs.
Yep.
All right. Well, I kind of dove right into the NFL. So who wants to go next? Who has a topic that they kind of want to brush on in the world of sports this week?
I was happy to see that UMaine hockey didn't dip as far as I thought they might have dipped after getting swept by BU.
They dipped to 10th, and they lost each game by 1 goal. Saturday night wasn't as close as the 5-4 game would indicate. BU kind of took control of that game and took it over in the third there. Maine held tight. You know, they didn't budge. They held their ground. Bradley Nadeau is still absolutely phenomenal. Boy, can that kid play hockey.
Can we
let's put it like this,
though, please?
Yeah, for one, stay out of the goddamn penalty box, Maine. And let's not act like it's an evenly matched talent level on that ice. I mean, BU has 6 or 7 NHL drafted players on their roster at the moment. Maine has 1.
BC had 16.
It's not evenly scoped through talent-wise. Now, with the way Maine is getting better each and every year, that's going to change over the course of a couple of years. They're going to get better recruiting classes, even though they had the #1 recruiting class coming into college. That's neither here nor there. They're going to get more talent as the years come, especially with Barr as their head coach. That dude is a great coach. But as of right now, it's still not fair. I don't want to say it's not fair. It's still not even playing field as far as the talent level would go. And Maine still held their ground. Of course, I did predict it on the show. Maine would get their first broom handed to them this weekend, and it happened. They got swept. It is what it is. They got a little break coming up before their matchup with UNH, so we'll see what happens there. I like Maine's chances to get the dub against UNH at the Alfond. I absolutely can see that. You know, as I stated, I really like Maine's direction. I don't think they have a realistic shot at winning the national title this year just because of the talent discrepancy. You could clearly see it out there. There's a lot of people on Maine who don't belong on the same sheet of ice as players from BU. It just is what it is. But they held tight. They lost each game by only a goal. So let's not act like they got blown off the ice. Maine played fairly well. I don't want to say very, but they played fairly well. I think 10th that's a good spot for them. Only dropped three places. I think
it's more indicative of what happened around them why they only dropped to 10th.
Yeah, I completely agree. I absolutely agree.
Michigan State sweeping Wisconsin. Who saw that coming?
Shout out Sean Gardner.
Yeah. Missy, bro. Providence slipping against UMass. That happened. They were. I mean, yeah, I'm hopeful. I think we'll get in the tourney. I like you said. I don't think we're national title should be considered national title favorites by any stretch yet.
No, God, no, not this year. Not this year.
We're on the rise.
Yeah, we're on the rise. I can see us getting into the tourney, possibly winning a tournament game, but I don't think it goes much further than that.
Not Frozen 4 yet. We're not Frozen 4 yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. But definitely a team on the rise and a team that's going to continuously get better over years to come. So hopefully, I don't know the rules and regulations compared to college hockey in the NHL. Hopefully, Bradley Nadeau stays one more year and we can continue with that growth. I don't know if he has to or not. And if he does not have to, I unfortunately do not see him being more than a one and done type player because he looks NHL ready now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll have to see where that goes. Like I said, I don't know the college hockey rules. If he has to stay 2 years, 3 years, I don't know. If he does, I don't want to say I'm happy because I don't want him to get hindered on in his hockey career. But I'd be happy on a main level that he has to stay.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything you want to add, Mr. Blackwell?
No, I just think that's a really good point in the talent disparity. 16 NHL draftees. That's pretty crazy. I mean, they were number one when Maine played them, right?
They sure were.
Split.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Having this weekend off, hopefully sometime to regroup. I didn't catch any college hockey this weekend. I can't wait to watch them play next weekend. I've been doing nothing but watching NBA, to be completely honest. I know I love college basketball, but I've been betting NBA every fucking night, every single night. So
hey, I don't blame you. And boy, oh boy, does the NBA have a treat for us tomorrow night when we got Milwaukee heading into the Garden.
Ooh,
which Garden?
The Garden. The only Garden that matters this year.
Madison Square Garden.
Fuck Madison Square Garden. We're talking about Austin.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? This don't even make no sense to shout out, but if any of you guys are bettors, DeAndre Ayton over on his rebound prop tonight. Listen to the injury report right now for the Blazers, just because I do want to talk about that Boston. Who the fuck you say they play? Philly?
Boston plays Milwaukee tomorrow.
Oh, Milwaukee, yeah. But this is who's out right now for the Blazers: Brogdon, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Ish Wainwright, and Robert Williams.
Oh my God, Ayton's going to go for 20 rebounds.
Yeah, I'm placing it right now.
Yeah, no, that's a very smart bet. Yeah, so because we kind of have a limited show for you guys tonight. We apologize about that. We'll get into the question after a couple minutes of NBA talk here. Actually, before we get into the NBA, Ian, this question is directly for you. What in the actual fuck has happened to USC?
Kaboom.
Now, I actually forgot to talk about this. Thank you for bringing that up, because there was a lot of people are calling for Lincoln Riley's head. Like, a lot of people, I don't know. It's his second season, bro. Like, he's 6-5 or 6-4, 6-5, something like that. It's not time to let him go necessarily. Granted,
he's a national championship winning coach. It might.
I agree, and it's not time for Lincoln Riley's job yet. You guys did a smart thing getting rid of that defensive coordinator, but I am really worried the direction USC is going to head next year.
I don't know. I mean, because the thing is, though, even when he coached at fucking Oklahoma when they went to the playoffs, they had like one of the worst defenses they were ranked in the hundreds in the entire country, and they still, I don't know. It's just the Pac-12. I think it was just too many good teams this year, and we had and then on top of that, I think everybody's confidence got destroyed when we got absolutely butt fucked by Notre Dame in Indiana. Yeah, I was waiting all day to watch that shit. I had my lucky hat. And that shit, I never at any point thought we were going to win that game. I just watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, we're about to get our ass beat.
I mean, as a fan, we've all had those type of games where you just sat back and 2 minutes into it, you're like, yep, we're going to get fucked up tonight.
Exactly.
That's happened to every fan of every team. Like
that's how I felt watching the Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Giants. First one round. It's like, oh, we're screwed.
Really?
When we didn't start putting up numbers on them, I was like, we're going to be in trouble if we don't start scoring it quick.
That's an interesting take, especially when New England was undefeated. I didn't know you had that thought.
Granted, this is back when I was 18 in that game when that game happened. But when we were blowing doors, I mean, the regular season to seal the undefeated regular season game against the Giants, albeit the Giants played them tough, really tough.
It was like one possession game, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, it was 38-35. I don't know how I remember that score.
This was too close. If we don't blow the door, I said this after that game. If we don't blow the doors off of them to start the game out, we're going to be in trouble. What happened?
That's fair. That's a good point. That's a good take. Coincidentally enough, Justin, I was talking with another Patriot friend that I had, kind of almost about the same situation. He said he knew 5 minutes into the game in the 2012, AFC Championship game against Baltimore. He's like, they're going to smoke us tonight. He said he knew 5 minutes into that game that just Baltimore looked sharper. They looked faster. They looked fresher.
And what's his name?
Anquan Bolden.
Bolden and Rice.
Yeah.
They were on, and we weren't.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as the 2009 wild card game against Baltimore. First play of the game, Ray Rice, just the 80-yard touchdown run.
God.
That was the worst game Tom Brady's ever played. That was horrendous. But, I mean, regardless, he's arguably the GOAT, so he's allowed to have one of those games. But that was ugly for them. Game that I had like that, to be honest, where I knew Dallas was going to get absolutely shamacked, was same year, Justin, 2009, divisional round against the Vikings. Dallas goes out, gets 3 on the opening drive. I'm like, okay, that's cool. 3-0 Dallas to start the game. 4 plays into Minnesota's drive. Brett Favre hits Sidney Rice for 46 yards down the sideline. I'm like, okay, this game's done. Like, we are about to get massacred.
You're going to get rolled.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, Ian. We've all been there. I completely get where you're coming from. Yeah, that's why I want to ask you, because especially we know Caleb Williams is going to enter the draft this year. If that defense remains as pitiful as it is, you don't have an all-star caliber quarterback like Caleb Williams. I can't see the direction of USC on an upward trend at this point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when it comes to shit like that, it's just more or less. I mean, he's never been a coach that's had a defensive culture around. I mean, like I said, at Oklahoma, well, I mean, hell, he coached 2 Heisman winners. He coached Jalen Hurts, who came in from Alabama, and then before that, he coached. Wait, no, was it Baker? Baker won the Heisman? He had 2 Heisman winners.
Yeah, Baker won the Heisman.
Right. Yeah. So it was Baker and him. But I don't know, man. That's Am I completely shocked that the season ended up like this? Not really. Did I think we were gonna do better? Yeah. But like when I was looking at the schedule, I'm like, yeah, that's a game we can definitely lose, and that's a game. Like I thought going into the year that we were for sure gonna most likely gonna lose to Washington. The Oregon game I was kind of up in the air about, and I should have been a lot more scared of Oregon. I did not think Notre Dame was gonna do that to us.
I was saying you should have been a lot more scared of Notre Dame. Now before we get into the question, we're about a quarter way through the NBA season already at this point, kind of flying right by, if you will. Not trying to be too biased. I think Boston looks like the clear-cut favorite in the East at the moment. You could argue, Milwaukee, of course. You could argue Philly. But I think Boston has the edge over both of those teams. I don't think Miami has that same spark they had last year. The West, though. The West kind of seems like it's really up for grabs this year.
Yeah, the West is looking really
kind of weak. And it's hard to say. We didn't used to think the Western Conference was the elite for a long time. And it's not what it used to be.
It really doesn't appear to be.
There's a few teams that stick out to me.
Sacramento, Denver, obviously. Sacramento's a feel-good story.
I mean, they got shellacked last night by like 35.
This is true.
And Golden State
kind of making me a little nervous. Not gonna lie, with how games that they should be blowing the doors off of people, and they're either coming down to one possession games or choking in the last second.
Take last night, for example, they lost to Charlotte. I mean, yes, it was an overtime loss, but Jesus, how do you lose a game where Jason Tatum drops 45?
And Drew Holiday got absolutely baptized by LaMelo Ball.
He sure did.
Yes,
he for sure
did. LaMelo had 36. Tatum had 45.
LaMelo is cementing himself to be an all-star. He has gotten better and better every year.
I think he's I think he has made one all-star team, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I know, but I'm talking about he's cementing himself.
He might be. I think he's getting himself towards second all NBA.
Yeah, I'm kind of more aligning with what
That could be-
'cause he's different, man. The shit he does with the ball.
Yeah.
He plays at his own pace too. That's what I like. Nobody can speed LaMelo up. Same thing with Luka. He just plays how he wants to play and he controls the pace.
I think he is the one ball brother who will actually be a thing because Lonzo wasn't. He got hurt too easily. LaMelo, he's got something.
It's kind of a tough position for Lonzo because he was starting to cement himself as a really good player too, a phenomenal defender.
Then
starting to
absolutely
shoot the ball good, too.
Starting to shoot the ball well, and by far the best passer of the Ball brothers is Lonzo. His court vision was unreal.
Yeah, I would say that.
But he can't catch a break as far as health wise. So what I'm gonna say about LaMelo is he's creeping up to star status, not superstar status. Like he's not in the Tatum, LeBron, Giannis conversation yet.
Yeah.
No.
Right. But he is really, really edging on a star in this league at this point.
Yeah, he's doing well for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I could not agree more.
I don't know, man. Minnesota to me is looking really, really good as well. Karl Anthony Towns shooting 37% from three, 90% from the free throw line, averaging 21 and I just had up a second ago. But he's averaging 21 points a game. They had to come back the other night to beat the Pelicans, who looked really good last night with Zion out there. Like Zion was playing last night. He was getting steals. He was everywhere.
Now, Ian, it's not that I disagree with you on that whatsoever, because I don't. But Minnesota looks like the type of team that could probably finish third or fourth in the West and then get bounced in the first round.
That's fair. I mean, I would say they do have a closer in Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. Yeah, for sure.
I don't trust Towns. He's one of those guys. He's my LA Chargers of the NBA. I just don't trust him when it comes down to it. Looks great on paper. It looks great from time to shows flashes, but
that's an amazing comparison. Actually, I could not agree more. That's a phenomenal comparison. We know we're on a limited time, boys. We only got about 5 minutes left before we got to hop off for the night. What do you say we get into the question? And who's got it this week?
If nobody else does, I have one in mind, but I wanted to see if you guys had something, because I did think of one earlier, because we always.
I believe I had it last week, so if Justin wants one, he can take it. If you want it, Ian, it's all yours.
Ian, it's all you. You can take this one. I'll hit you guys back next week.
Okay.
You out of here, or you like?
No.
Oh, okay.
You got the question. He's saying.
Classic misunderstanding. All right, so. What is the greatest choke? I should say the worst choke job in the history of sports.
Oof.
To where it's like, yeah, they fucking choke. Or it can be a player. It could be a play. It could be one moment. It could be a game. It could be.
There's two moments that quickly come to mind right now.
Atlanta.
Justin. Atlanta 23, New York Yankees down 0-3 or being up 3-0.
Up 3-0, and then the Patriots in 2007 Super Bowl. I mean, you got 3 slam dunk choke jobs. I'm probably gonna say Atlanta 28-3, but
how can it not be?
Yeah.
With the Yankee Red Sox series, there was opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Don't get me wrong; they had to win 4 straight to knock that to do that, but. I mean, I
also want to say an honorable mention here too to the 2016 Golden State Warriors, 73-9, up 3-1 in the finals.
And then LeBron comes out and just rolls them.
What about Chris Webber calling a timeout when they didn't?
That's a good one. That's a real good one, Chris Webber. I don't think that's as big though as a choke job as
J.R. Smith.
Oh my God, J.R. Smith.
Oh yeah, I'm like, because with that one though, I mean, shit, that was game 1. Who knows? They win that game. They get. I mean, the Warriors. Well, I just farted. Sorry, fellas.
Can't hear
Sorry. I probably didn't need to announce that. I just didn't know if you guys heard it.
Nope, we're good.
But yeah, I mean, shit, they win that game. You never know. I mean, because the Warriors swept that series though, and that was game 1. So
what about another one too? The Colts in 20.
Oh, against the Chiefs.
Oh, then I'm sorry. Yeah, the Chiefs against the Colts being up 31-3 late in the third in the wild card, and
Bro.
The captain Andrew Luck comes all the way back. There's so many games that you could bring to in this situation.
The 2009 or 2010, the 4-2 game with the Patriots.
Oh my God, that's another one. There are so many. It's hard to break it down to like a player or a moment.
In a championship game, choke job, I'm taking the Falcons 28-3 choke job.
Yeah, me too.
We'll do it like this. We'll do game. What was it? Game, series, if you want to include that, and then like if a team blows like a late season division lead or something, we'll just do like those. We'll just run through those three each of us because it's kind of hard. Like you said, there's so much.
Okay.
In each category.
Okay. So championship game, 28-3 Falcons choking to the Patriots.
Yep.
I
Series,
would have to
Yankees choking to the Red Sox.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if we're gonna go moment, stick with me on the moment part for this one. Brett Favre, 2009 NFC title game.
Yes.
Cross body throw for the interception.
Throw.
Didn't he throw a fucking duck against the Giants too when the Giants beat the Patriots that year?
Yeah.
Yep.
He did. He did.
For one single moment, for me it might have to be because Chris Webber. You never know what they were gonna do. They were down by 2 or 1, I think, when he did that.
Yeah.
There was another fucking basketball one. It wasn't.
Oh.
JR.
I got a really good basketball one if we're talking about player.
Go ahead. I'll go ahead.
All I have to say is the year in the finals, and you know the player I'm talking about.
Just say it.
2011 NBA Finals. LeBron James. LeBron James.
And he choked one game.
He choked 3 straight fourth quarters.
It was enough.
Yeah, that's true.
3 straight fourth quarters.
Whichever game he had 8 points in, that was absolutely pathetic.
That was that year.
Yeah, it was. But the whole, because they went up 1-0, then it was 1-1, then it was 2-1, and they tied it to
Dallas won the rest.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who's another player that just shit? Oh, Jackie Smith in the Super Bowl dropping a touchdown.
Oh, don't even remind me about Jackie Smith.
Not
even that I was alive. Not that I was even alive.
Samuel dropping the perfect season clinching interception.
So, see, there's so many individual moments that you could bring out in this situation. It's insane.
Yeah.
But all right, boys.
I think we can agree that the biggest championship game choke,
Atlanta, no question.
And then series choke job got to be either Golden State or the Yankees.
No question. I couldn't agree more. It's 8:30, boys. I know we had to wrap up the show early. I'm glad we got to do another one tonight. We'll be back next week, guys. Like and subscribe. We know you won't. We know nobody's actually going to listen, but we just like doing this anyways. You're all fags. Have a good night.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
Want to get high? So high.